Hello there, it's Lara Moto here, and today I am at the Ride and Skid It Speedway experience. Essentially, I'm trying out Speedway for the first time. So there's some really good guys here that are showing me how it's done, but I'll just keep trying and I'll see you in a bit. The weather's really bad, but apparently that's ideal. There's a Speedway bike. So yeah, had our first session, like just learning how to ride the bike. So we went out for a little poo around, got used to where our feet go, and then now we've just been essentially trying to do donuts in the middle, like do it in small circles. Just taught you about the riding style and the position you're meant to be in. So quite similar to flat track, but you kind of want to get comfortable with that back end being loose, and there's a certain element of feeling a pendulum where your weight's all at the front of the bike, you're kind of pushing the bars down and away from you, which is kind of so opposite to how I'm used to riding on the road, and just letting the back kind of trail, but so much easier said than done. Well, technically I've never tried Speedway before, but here's me saving a rather large slide at Island Bend at Oulton Park. I'd undertaken a competitor and then run a little bit wide, so I had to recover, found the edge of the tyres, almost got my elbow down on a CB500 and held a slide for a little bit longer than I'd hoped. Glad to get out alive for that one. Here's my attempts at riding a circle. So these are one of the earliest sessions you do once you've been out on the big oval. You then practice essentially doing donuts. That tie around my wrist is a cut off, so if I come off the bike the engine cuts out. So I'm getting some awesome tuition now from Adam Allett, a hugely successful flat track and speedway rider. He's encouraging me to get my weight over the front of the bars and kind of push that front wheel into the ground. And just give it a bit of guidance on where to put my feet. Your right foot is so low to the ground, which is fine because obviously you're doing a left-hand circuit, but you have to remember to keep it out of the way when you're bolt upright. And then I'm just trying to feel my way around and trust that front. They're encouraging you to slip the back and kind of feel the bike slide and kick. And again, working on that pendulum rotating around the front of the bike. I've only done a few laps, but it's you get pretty tense when you try to do this if it's new to you. So it's pretty exhausted, but chuffed. I now have a go of trying to explain how that felt. Sorry about the wind. Just being around in a circle, you think, why am I bothering? But if you can do that there in a circle, then you can do it on the big track. So yeah, swim training. Thank you very much. So, Aidan, can you tell me a little bit more about the school? When did you set it up?
Yeah, the school we set up about 7 years ago. It was just an idea because my uncle had a farm and a track a bit smaller than here, and a lot of the top riders used to fly into Manchester Airport and stay at my uncle's house, and I'll be blasting around on all sorts of bikes. And I thought, you know what? All the village people used, like the people from the town and the village where we were from. Sorry, they used to just like locals from the pub jump on a bike at my uncle's farm and just ride around, and it was so much fun. So when I retired from Speedway, I was like, you know, God, we really need to try and do this. And then we managed to get involved with Buxton here, and we've been here for 7 years, and we've been doing the Speedway for 7 years. And the thing is, the Speedway is a little bit different to the flat track. The Speedway, what we do here, you know, we're just giving you a CBT test of Speedway, but it's pretty difficult to get into the world of Speedway. You got to do a hell of a lot of training. There's not really that many facilities. Whereas the flat track's the fastest growing motorsport in Europe right now. We're actually busier with the flat track experience days, to be honest.
Got it. So you run flat track here?
Yeah, we've only been doing the flat track experience days here for the last 4 years. So this is our 4th year, and they've just literally been sold out every single time. So
great.
So busy.
And it's great for just winter training. Obviously summer riding as well, but if you're a tarmac rider, if you want to get more experience off-road, you just want to be here, don't you?
Yeah, tarmac racing, it enhances your skills and rider ability on the road bikes. It also helps you as a speedway rider as well. So we race around the oval, the big oval, the little oval, the inside, the infield, put chicanes in on the straight. So yeah, it's we mix it up. We mix it all up for you. Now is everything you've learnt in that mini bike stuff. You really need to put into practice now, because you're going to be going out on the big track now for the rest of the afternoon. Okay, so you really need to make sure you use your steel shoes. You've seen how important it is on the mini track. It's really important that you use that body position you've just been taught, and especially your steel shoes. Make sure that leg's out, loads of weight all the way around the corner. Okay. So what we're going to do now is session 3. Just going to have one go each, 3 riders at a time. Okay. And you want to be exiting the corners as close to the curb as you can. Don't want you exiting the corners as close to the fence as you can, because the faster you go, the G-forces send you straight over to the fence. especially if the bike's not leant over. Like I said, remember, you need to turn away from dangers. To get the bike down low, you turn away from the fenders. First 3 riders then, and then we'll get on with the follow lead, show you the race line, and then we'll go straight to session 4, yeah? Are we alright with that?
Yep.
Make sure your helmet's fastened, gloves are on, goggles on. First 3 riders, let's go.
Right, now that Aidan had tried to put some energy into us, a bit cold and wet after all, and I'd shown my capabilities going around in a little circle and getting used to that, it was time to get on the Honda 125 Speedway bikes and test out my new skills around the big oval. The engineer in me is fascinated with these Speedway bikes. They're essentially bicycles with engines. They only have notional front suspension and what looks like a negative rake angle, but again, that really helps the back kick out and helps keep your weight over the front. Here are some GoPro shots of me building up a little bit of speed and trying to get a feel for the back end sliding. Not bad for a first attempt, eh? Had lots of good feedback from Adam and the team. I felt really encouraged and it was a good safe environment to get some pace off. I was a bit high on adrenaline though. This is crazy! Right, well I've just come back in after trying the bigger oval after doing some donut stuff. I got too close to like the instructor in front and he just completely spattered my goggles. I couldn't see a thing, which was hilarious. The mud is awesome, and I'm barely drifting it, but it feels like you feel like a hero, so it's really good fun. Yeah, so I'm totally covered in mud. White stuff is now black and black stuff as well, brown, so yeah, it's quite a good laugh. Next thing coming up is again a bit more pace and a bit more in the bigger oval, but yeah, this is mental. Do you have your favourite experience? Do you have a moment where you were like, this is freaking awesome?
In Speedway, I think that's nearly every race.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's just so edgy. It's so.
Because you can end up at the back and you make this last line cut through and you pull them on the inside.
It's just there's nothing like it. It's Speedway. Just it's a sport to its own. It's just. It's crazy. It's crazy, really. You know, and it's hard, very hard to master. So
yeah, even after 4 laps, you can see why the races are pretty short. Because as a novice, obviously not relaxing as much as I should, but you're still exhausted. You've only been around the circuit a few times.
Exactly. You know, no suspension on the bikes either. So obviously every little bump and every little tiny rough, what's like that, it drains your body. So your body is a shock absorber basically on Speedway.
It does become that actually. Use a bit more suspension. I head out again for my final laps, this time with my Insta360 attached. These are the first few laps I got in before the front-facing camera got covered in mud, but it was quite novel to get my camera out and maybe show you what the whole oval looks like from a third-person point of view. Right, well I've just come back in from doing the big oval. Had loads of good support from everyone. It actually felt like I was skidding. I'm sure that it'll turn out all right in the photos. But yeah, it was mental. Yeah, so like my hands are shaking. We only did like 4 laps, and there's no suspension on the front of them, so like you're trying to just commit to the corner and it's just doing this all the time, and it's just you're trying to just be brave because there's no brakes on them, but if you just get on the power and throw it in, the back comes out and just getting a bit of confidence on it, it's mad. You know, for riding in a circle on just some mud in a day like today, you think it'll be crap, but actually it's hilarious. It's nerve-wracking, and if you come off, it's going to get a bit messy, you're going to get a bit muddy, and you should be all right. But yeah, it's it's mad. You've got to give it a go. Just getting used to the loose stuff is so much. It's going to help so much on the road. So yeah, enjoying it. And it's really windy. I lose my camera. Bye bye. You might be interested in what to wear. The Ride and Skid It team will provide you with all the protective clothing you need. I wanted to wear my Knox Urbane Pro armoured shirt, my Knox Handroid gloves, and the Knox Aegis back protector and the chest protector with the held trousers and some high calf boots. Let's take a closer look at these Speedway bikes. You can see how much of a negative angle there really is on the front of these bikes, obviously complemented with some knobbly tyres. Thin tubular frame, not too similar to a bicycle, with a kind of handle for shoving them, moving them around. There's a notional seat, not that you really sit on it. Your crotch really belongs on the bottom end of that top crossbar, right on top of that single cylinder 125, which has plenty of poke for learning how to get that first Speedway slide. Listen in now for a bit of name dropping from Aidan.
We've had all sorts of rivals. Danny Webb, he came up and did our experience day. Next minute he's like, man, I should have been doing this when I was a teenager.
Yes, exactly.
He's like, why have I not been doing this? And then he goes and, come and do our little ride the 125s, a bit like Colin Edwards boot camp, little 125s, loving it. And then he goes and gets a 450 and he's racing around, and his mate Stephen Campbell, who's raced Moto 3 back in the day as well. He's got a big bike, Suzuki now. So
he had Hodgson here recently, didn't he?
We had Neil Hodgson, Niall Mackenzie here, and that was their first ever time of Speedway. Neil's been here before and done the flat track day.
Got it.
With Gavin Emmett and stuff like, from BT Sport. They love that. But Neil's his first time on the Speedway, same as what you done today, on the same conditions.
Nice.
And I'd actually say you was nearly as good as him.
No way.
Neil's only got the advantage because he apparently used to be a very, very good motocross rider, but you were rode really well today.
That's really kind
Even
of
all
you.
Our customers and all our instructors were really impressed with you, so you did good.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, and I think I'd also probably credit a little bit of Pete Bose's school as well, because he certainly helped my flat track style.
Yeah, exactly. You can see that Pete has helped you out as well. So Pete runs a good little thing over in the east side of the country, and we've got this up here. So
yeah, exactly. So I feel it's great just to have the two facilities basically. So indoor, smaller track conditions. But if you want to do bigger flat track, bigger ovals, work in the mud a bit more, it's all about being here. Understood.
It's a bit more dangerous around here with the speeds.
It's a bit cheeky. And then finally, let's just hit up the sponsors. Who you representing at the moment? I can see NGK.
Yeah, obviously NGK UK. They're a massive help to us. Rock Oil as well. They're a mega help. Bullet Jeans, Covec, all the safety gear.
Yeah, I can see all that stuff here.
Derbyshire Off Road Centre, motorcycle shop just down the road. You deal with jet skis, which we might have needed this morning. It was nearly flooding the track, but luckily it drains very quickly. And Buxton Speedway and Peak Medicare looks after you guys when you're out on the circuit.
Yeah, well, Aidan, it's absolutely brilliant to meet you. I've really enjoyed today. It was a really healthy learning environment. We all progressed. It was a really good build up to not go flat out on the track first. So definitely really enjoyed that. So thank you very much for your time and your team's time.
You're very welcome.
And I'm looking forward to coming back again. Thank you very much.
Look forward to it.
Cheers, Aidan.
Take care.
This just got really awkward. Bye.
You're supposed to go like that. Boom. Take two.